Byakuya was definitely the one who brought those night vision goggles.
Yella.
Definitely? But why?
Inside the Duralumin case Byakuya had with him during the party, he found a smaller case for storing the night vision goggles.
Which means we can assume that the night vision goggles were kept inside that Duralumin case as well.
Yep, I'd say that's a logical assumption.
I said assume! Ibuki never uses such clever language.
That's a pretty similar one.
Byakuya was the only one who could have taken the night vision goggles out of the case,
Yeah, I wasn't sure what was going on completely.
since he was carrying it around before the blackout in the first place.
I see. When you put it like that, it makes sense.
Then, was that knife inside the case too? If there were night vision goggles inside, it wouldn't be weird for a knife to be in there too.
I'm not so sure.
It would be weird.
I am weird, aren't I? At times like this, I'd rather be fantasizing about tonight's main dish.
Ooh, you totally mean that in a perverted way.
I mean, of course he does. The duct tape.
I see.
Because it was taped under the table. Glow in the dark
It
so
was
the killer
duct
could
tape
see it.
left under the table where
Or
the body
something.
was found.
Oh, more like...
Huh? Duct tape. They probably hid the knife by duct taping it to the underside of the table.
There's one person that was in the place beforehand.
Oh, so that's why we found duct tape there.
Though Byakuya was thorough, even he couldn't have noticed a weapon taped to the underside of the table.
This may be off topic, but why was Byakuya acting so paranoid?
Because of the threat
Not
letter?
only did he bring
We
a
should tell you that,
self-defense kit,
probably.
but he had night vision goggles inside the case too.
That's true. He went above and beyond being a little cautious.
Now that you mention it, that applies to the dangerous items he confiscated as well.
Confiscate freaking forks, man.
It's one thing to be a little cautious, but performing a body check is a
Yeah,
bit much.
I'm not so sure about that.
He probably knew someone was planning to commit a murder.
Are you saying he predicted the murder?
I mean, you know that he
Was he
did.
also in possession of the all-seeing eye?
Pretty much.
You think so too,
He
right,
does.
Hajime?
I think so. I literally saw the freaking letter. The murder threat.
I can prove it with this.
Like, that's a really simple one.
Everyone, can you please take a look at this?
Yep.
Hey, the hell is this?
We found it in
Hajime
Byakuya's
and I
room.
found this in Byakuya's cottage. It looks like a threatening letter someone sent to him.
So, who's the someone?
If only we knew.
Besides Monokuma would write such a dumb, threatening letter like that.
I kind of agree.
Wasn't me!
Are you sure?
Are you sure?
The only lies I tell are friendly lies.
Friendly
They're
lies.
still lies! It doesn't matter who wrote it yet. So, Byakuya became paranoid because of this threatening letter?
Yep.
He probably decided to throw a party because of the letter. What do you mean? By gathering everyone in one place, he tried to create a situation where everyone could keep tabs on each other.
Yep.
In doing so, he tried to put the writer of the letter in a situation where they couldn't act. But the letter might have been just a little prank. As long as he was determined not to let any of us die, he couldn't take that risk. His strong sense of responsibility made him believe the letter was legitimate.
He should have told us he received a threatening letter.
If he had, we would have panicked.
Yeah.
Byakuya probably knew that too.
Nobody would have trusted each other.
So, he tried to do something about it without telling anyone?
Pretty much.
See. strong sense of responsibility as our leader was his undoing.
Screw that noise! Who the hell wrote that letter?
Who knows?
Well, obviously, the killer.
Did he though? Do I actually have to choose here?
Enough already! Show yourself, you coward!
If they were willing to come forward, they never would have committed a murder in the first place.
Pardon me. Can I say something, please?
What is it,
Push,
Miss
Sonia.
Sonia?
I regret that I must return to this topic, but I just realized something concerning the night vision goggles. If Byakuya was indeed wearing those goggles, how did the killer manage to navigate in the dark?
Glow in the dark.
You're right. They wouldn't have been able to see anything without the night vision goggles. But if the murderer had the goggles when they took the knife, then how did Byakuya see them?
Glow in
Even
the
if the
dark
knife
beats.
bore some sort of mark, it would have been difficult to see it in that darkness.
I see! What if the glowing paint was the mark? With that, you'd be able to get the knife even in the dark.
Yep.
In actuality, the knife we found under the table and the duct tape stuck to the underside of the table were both marked with glowing paint, right?
Does that mean the killer painted them in advance? But painting them with glowing paint? It's as if they knew the blackout was going to happen.
I mean, it was probably part of their plan.
They had to have already known. That's why they used the glowing paint as a mark. Which means whoever set up the blackout is the killer.
That seals it.
Probably.
The killer is whoever was in the office with the circuit breaker.
I don't think so.
Which means it was you, Peko Pekoyama!
Peko killed poor Byakuya? Was this island not big enough for 2 glasses wearers?
I'm not the killer.
Oh, I guess she's not.
How can you believe her so easily?
I mean, she's out of here, right?
But with Peko's height, I don't think she'd be able to reach the circuit breaker in the office.
I don't care about a technicality like that. Peko's the one who tripped the breaker.
She has a
and caused the
sword,
blackout.
I think. I don't think he confiscated the bamboo sword. I don't really think so. Blue colored? Agree spots? So if arguing with the other person's testimony contains lies or mistakes, please pray the truth will prove the other person's testimony is correct. Okay. Okay. That's interesting. One of those things I always wanted to be like, in Phoenix, right? I agree with this, so here's why. Teruteru, Nekomaru, Chiaki.
Since Pek...
Teruteru. Gas stove in the kitchen is powered by electricity. That's why Teruteru couldn't use it during the blackout. Chiaki. When Chiaki was standing guard outside, Fuyuhiko apparently came to the old building, then walked away. Nekomaru. Nekomaru kept trying to use the bathroom since before the party started, but someone was using it the whole time. He was able to enter the bathroom after Byakuya's body was discovered. Oh! That's what I'm gonna have to use. Peko was in the bathroom because she had trouble after.
She could have caused the blackout at any time!
That's impossible. Huh? Why is it impossible?
Because you weren't there.
Because I was not in the office. Not even before the blackout.
I'm gonna probably have to fire it there, but I want to listen to the whole thing.
Sorry. Oh, you weren't in the office? That's clearly a desperate excuse.
Yep.
Since Peko was in the office, she could have caused the...
That's impossible. Huh? Why is it impossible? Because I was not in the office. Not even before the blackout.
I agree with that.
No, I think Peko is telling the truth.
Don't tell me you're crushing on Peko.
I mean,
It's nothing like that at all. Nekomaru's account is actually
So is
Peko's
women.
alibi.
It's true. Someone was occupying the bathroom for a long time shortly after the party started. And it was finally freed up after Byakuya's body was discovered.
Then the person who was in the bathroom that whole time was actually...
Everyone else besides Peko was in the dining hall after the party started, right?
I see. So there's no way anybody else could have locked themselves in the bathroom except Peko. I guess that would be true.
You locked yourself in the commode? You should have said so earlier.
it's kind of embarrassing.
There's no way she'd actually say that. Gosh, you are so insensitive.
Pretty much.
If she locked herself in the bathroom for that long, there's no doubt. It's shit.
True.
Oh, there's no way she'd admit it. There's no way she'd admit she was taking a shit.
Hey, weren't you guys taught any basic manners, or were you raised in a locker room?
I like Nekomaru.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. How about we stop talking about this and move on to something else?
Don't worry. The smell wasn't that strong. I used the bathroom right after you, so you can trust me.
I said it's fine. But still, you were in the bathroom for a really long time. Did you get food poisoning or something?
Tojo's probably gonna speak up about
As soon as I
that.
stepped into the office, I felt this sudden rush of pain in my stomach.
Huh.
Because of that, I was unable to leave the bathroom, including when the blackout occurred.
Hey, how did it feel to do your business in the dark? Did you get excited? Seriously.
Stop, Tojo.
But still, your stomach pain. Was that really just a coincidence?
Hey, what's the deal? Don't butt into other people's business, especially if you didn't do any investigating.
I'm only butting in because you fucking idiots are out of your element.
Language.
Stop this childish nonsense. Just what do you mean by coincidence?
What I mean is it possible someone slipped her some laxatives?
Huh. Well, then Teru would be the most logical
So,
person.
the killer could have tripped the breaker as soon as that girl left the office, don't you think?
I see. That might have happened.
Were the laxatives in the supermarket? She had another one. Knife, AC, night vision, embarrassing pose, party dishes.
Did you?
Knife. What's the party dishes exactly? Put his heart and soul into cooking various party dishes. However, Akane and Pekka were the only ones who ate them. But Akane didn't really have trouble. Did she? And then embarrassing pose. I think I know what that is, but let me just check. Yeah. That's also pretty damning for Taro, because he's kind of a perv. Kind of. He's the perv.
I don't remember eating anything weird.
Now that you mention it... You brought food to the office, right?
Yep.
Just a little bit from the dining hall.
There might have been some laxatives in it, don't you think?
Maybe.
Taro cooked the food. How suspicious!
I wouldn't do anything like that. Laxatives would ruin the taste.
Did you eat any?
Did it say anything weird about the taste? Laxatives would agree with the taste. And what was the other thing?
I don't remember eating anything weird.
Now that you mention it... You brought food to the office, right?
Just a little bit from the dining hall.
There might have been some laxatives in it, don't you think?
I mean, these are contradiction
Taro cooked the
things.
food. How suspicious!
I wouldn't do anything like that.
Like,
Laxatives would ruin the taste.
yeah, I didn't think so.
Crap.
I mean,
Did you eat anything?
I don't remember eating anything weird.
Now that you mention it... You brought food to the office, right?
okay, either gotta
Just a little bit
contradict
from the dining
that
There might have been some laxatives in it,
there's
don't you think?
laxatives in that, or there's like...
Taro cooked the food. How suspicious!
So I gotta contradict that the
like
laxatives ruin the taste, or contradict that the laxatives are in it
Laxatives
in the
would
first
ruin the
place. Like, how would I...
Did you eat anything
The party dishes
weird?
didn't work on the ruin the taste.
I don't remember eating anything weird.
Let's see, timer.
Now that you mention it... You brought food to the office, right?
On a good table where the body was discovered. It came from the supermarket. They're both set to 11:30. Time of the murder. Ish. Okay, that isn't really a thing we can use. Maybe I gotta just shoot the party dishes at the other one, saying he poured his heart into it. Why would he put laxatives in it? Though I don't feel like that works.
There might have been some laxatives in it, don't you think?
I guess.
No, that's wrong. No, it's impossible that laxatives were slipping in the dining hall. Because Pekka wasn't the only one who ate that food.
Oh yeah,
Akane ate some
maybe
of it
that makes
too.
sense. I guess that makes
If
sense.
the food had laxatives in it, I'm pretty sure Akane would have had stomach issues as well.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I feel totally fine.
Like I said, the dishes are innocent. Don't go making weird accusations.
I apologize for causing a scene.
You're fine.
Fuyuhiko should apologize, not you. He's the one who made the laxative accusation.
What the fuck did you say, bitch?
Jesus.
Cease this bickering!
Whoa.
Let's just dismiss Pekko's stomachache as a coincidence and go back to discussing the blackout.
Seems like the most logical thing.
Yeah. We already know that, you trashy skank. You don't have to tell us.
Damn, Miyoko. You're so rude.
Trashy skank?
Okay. Maybe the two AC units activating at the same time overloaded? Akimaru, Chiaki, irons, storage room, tablecloth, territories count.
Who tripped the breaker and how did they do it? If you can't answer that, I'm gonna bop you on the head.
Did they throw a stone and hit it?
Maybe they used a remote control?
They probably messed with the breaker.
It does not have to be the breaker. They may have tampered with the power supply and transmitters.
No, wait, maybe that's not the logical thing.
Crap!
I should have waited longer.
Who tripped the breaker and how did they do it? If you can't answer that, I'm gonna bop you on the head.
Nakumaru. He said that the bathroom was closed. Chiaki said, what's his face appeared. So those are probably unimportant.
Did they throw a stone and hit it?
So
Maybe
the
they
tablecloth
used
could have maybe been
remote
used to pull it.
They probably messed with the breaker.
It does not have to be the breaker. They may have tampered with the power supply and transmitters.
Or maybe they caused a power surge?
I agree with that.
Should have just waited a bit longer.
It's just as Mahiru said.
I wonder
The
if
blackout was caused by a power
no,
surge.
no, that wouldn't have worked.
Of course, that's not a coincidence. Someone caused it intentionally.
The two AC units.
Which is why those
the
three
irons.
irons were arranged to cause the blackout. When you found them right after the blackout, the irons were still on, right?
So by leaving those irons on in the storage room, they deliberately caused a power surge.
Yeah. It seems that's how the killer caused the blackout.
Stupid fool!
Oh, hey, how you doing, Nakamura?
Hold on a second, let me speak too!
Okay.
What the heck?
You say the irons in the storage room were used to trigger the blackout?
And the AC units.
That's inexcusable!
That's probably aren't gonna have to shoot. Night vision goggles, irons in the storage room tablecloth. Night vision goggles.
If the irons in the storage room caused the blackout, then for the killer to turn the
okay.
irons on, you're saying they went all the way to the storage room? And that means everyone who was in the when the blackout occurred can't be a suspect.
I can't back down!
No, just because people were in the dining hall doesn't mean they're not a suspect.
But the people in the dining hall weren't able to cause... If the irons caused the blackout, then the killer had to go to the storage room before that and turn
was too
on
slow.
the iron. Now do you intend to take back what you said? But the people in the dining hall weren't able to... If the irons caused the blackout...
Allow me to cut through those words!
The irons are just one reason the blackout occurred. They weren't the direct trigger. The direct trigger was when the air conditioners in the dining hall and office clicked on.
The air conditioners!
The timers for both air conditioners were set to 11:30 p.m.
11:30 p.m. Mr. Ham-Hands died around that time too!
Mr.
I
Ham-Hands.
see. When the timers activated the air conditioners, the breaker was tripped and caused a blackout. I see. I understand. Indubitably.
Indubitably?
Indubitably.
They probably checked the old building's energy usage in advance and used the irons to nearly max it out.
Huh.
So once they set the air conditioner's timers, they just
would know
had
that
to
much?
wait until
Engineer
they
guy?
started up on their own.
If so, even if Pekka was in the office, it still would have been possible to cause a blackout. Indubitably.
Indubitably.
Indubitably?
Indubitably.
Miss Sonia, not you too.
Regarding the energy usage, they probably asked Monokuma about it.
Seems like a weird question to ask.
Is she right? Such a hateful bear. You deserve to die 1,000 deaths.
1,000, you say? If I died that many times, I might really stay dead, you know?
Except probably not.
Shut up! You guys just stay quiet! I couldn't have prevented the blackout even if I was in the office. Even so, I feel regret. If I was in the office, I could have reset the breaker in time. And maybe the murder wouldn't have occurred.
It'd be kind of hard to do.
No, the breaker in the office was built into a high
But
area
you do have
of
a
the wall
sword,
that's
so maybe?
impossible to reach. Resetting the breaker in that darkness would have been impossible, no matter what.
Sounds like you don't need to blame yourself.
Even so, the killer is so sly. I'm starting to worry we may never actually find them.
It's alright. You don't have to worry.
I'm right here.
Because they're just a petty killer, right? They can't defeat symbols of hope like you guys. There's no way everybody will lose now. This little incident will just be a stepping stone for you all. In the end, hope always wins. That's what I believe.
Nagito? What happened to you?
I mean, he's been like this the whole
What do you
time.
mean?
Well, you have been saying this whole time that there's no way a killer could be.
Oh yeah, and now he is kind of saying there's one.
Oh, is that so? Well, let's just put that minor detail aside for now and talk about the incident.
You're totally the killer, man.
For now, we found out how the blackout occurred. But the question is, who caused it, right? Anybody could have hid and set the timers for the air conditioners.
Hiding the knife was the hardest thing.
Setting up the irons in the storage room could have been done before Byakuya set foot in the old building. What a shame. Any one of us is capable of that.
What are you implying?
He's just saying, after all this time, we still haven't made any progress.
Yep, kind of.
Huh? Even though we have been arguing for so long?
Unfortunately, it's the truth. Despite the fact that we've discussed this at length, there's not even one clue that leads to the killer. But that might be because there's no way any of us could be a killer.
You're changing your story again?
Anyway, I have an idea about what we all should do at this point. Has anyone thought about our situation like this? Instead of surviving by doubting others, isn't it better to get killed
No.
for believing in others?
Doesn't that mean... Are you saying
I'd
we
rather
should all just
live.
give up and die?
Nagito, there's definitely something wrong with you.
You guys only think there's something wrong with me because there's something wrong with you.
We have a want to live?
Suspecting each other like this. There's no way that's healthy behavior. Let's stop this already. We don't have to find out who the killer is. I can't stand this anymore. I don't want to do this to my friends.
I don't want to do this either.
Me too.
I don't want to die more.
Take me home already. I want to go home and eat candy.
Stop it. If everyone acts like this, I'm gonna...
Everyone calm down.
We're all friends, aren't we? There's no way one friend would murder another.
Then why did Byakuya die?
Who cares? Let's just give up already. There are no clues that lead to the killer anyway. Not a single one.
That's wrong. I think.
Did you say something?
Well, let's,
Cause
Huh.
we've already found a clue that might point to who the killer is.
Yep. A
You
clue?
know who the killer is?
The killer? I don't know. But we do have a clue about a suspicious person. I think.
Suspicious
Let's
person?
see. Then care to tell me, what's this clue you're talking
The
about?
knife, I think?
First of all, let's try thinking about how the killer was able to obtain the knife during the blackout.
by putting it down there before the
Didn't
party.
we already cover that? They use glowing paint as a mark.
No, not that. I mean before that.
Huh.
Let's try examining the situation. My hero's diagram might be useful here.
The diagram of where everyone was standing before the blackout, right?
So follow the
here it is.
cord. So people on the right side of the room. Yep, and Nagito's right there.